Hey everyone! Before we begin with this episode, I would like to let you know that I recently started a few new channels, of which one is a Minecraft focused channel. Am I a bit late to the party? Heck yeah! But that doesn't mean that the game and its adventure maps aren't any less fun. You can find the link to the Minecraft with Max channel in the description down below. Currently we are going down memory lane as we revisit some of the most beloved and famous adventure maps ever made for Minecraft. Please take a look for awesome and fun co-op gameplay with me and the gang, and if you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel. There are already a whole bunch of adventure maps on there, including the link so you too can play them, and of course, you can let us know if you want to see a specific adventure on the channel. I also have other channels that you can find in the description, including a Star Wars Battlefront one or a gaming review channel. Thanks for the support, and enjoy the rest of the episode. With the safari park going swell as always, while preparations were made for expansion, the various sites and locations continued with their research, some bad and some good. To one of these sites, Claire Deering was sent over, who had hands-on experience on several islands before the first zoo was even built that stood as the blueprint for the current safari park. The reason for her visit was, however, not a pleasant one.
I returned to Isla Nublar with a sense of excitement and dread. This is where I experienced some of the greatest accomplishments of my life, and tragically, my most regrettable failures. But I've learned so much since then. About the dinosaurs, about this island, and about myself. So, welcome back. This time we do better, and when we leave on our terms.
A volcano on one of the islands showed heavy signs of activity and could possibly erupt. It was not a danger for the entire set of islands, but for the current one and its near vicinity, it could have disastrous effects were it to erupt. The dinosaurs nearby showed heavy signs of stress, but also a weird type of disease that seemed to have hit most of them. Claire's team was about to make sure that some of these animals could be saved.
We both know why we're here. It's time to save these animals. But we can only succeed if we work together. Let's get started. We've been given a limited budget to get this operation up and running. First, we need to restore the power. Nublar's existing power network should suffice once it's operational, but we won't have the capacity to extend it.
Don't mind me, Miss Deering. I'm here to observe and report. Oh, and make sure the Foundation's investment isn't being misused, even if it is limited. I may also occasionally offer my trademark witty interjections and winning smile.
In order to do that, several facilities were built, and of course they needed power, which currently could not be established. Though a power station and grid had previously been built on this part of the island, part of the lines had been broken down. A team of rangers would be needed in order to repair the lines and reroute the power back up again in order to get the facilities online and ready to receive the dinosaurs.
Returning to this island brings back so many memories. Not all of them bad, mind you. We did a lot of great work on Isla Nublar. Simon Mizrani, he was a good man. He realized John Hammond's vision. A dream, before it became a nightmare. In a strange way, this feels like coming home. I started here as an intern a lifetime ago. We gave the dinosaurs a second chance, and well, here I am, getting one myself, even as Isla Nublar explodes into chaos.
During their journey across the island, it became apparent to the rangers how dinosaurs had been living here too, free and mostly uninterrupted by men, while nature once again took its course.
I said that I'd never come back here, but deep down, I knew I would. Isla Nublar. I am forever linked to this island, and to the events that showed us who really was in charge. But this time, we can make it right. Or at least better.
Requesting repair.
And I'm not here for me. I'm here for them. The dinosaurs. They're still my responsibility. And now, they're yours as well. Together we can show the world how important these prehistoric animals are to our future.
There was vegetation that they had never seen before, and some were even speculating that there could be dinosaurs here too that had not been seen anywhere else. It also seemed to be quite peaceful, with no predators seen anywhere. The dinosaurs that were encountered were all herbivores that walked across the plains and wetlands in small herds, quite sporadically. Finally, after having followed the electrical grid for so long, they arrived at the source, which needed repairs as well. And so the facility was back online and could start receiving dinosaurs.
All right, you've got the power back online. Now we need more facilities in place to continue our work.
Does a coffee machine work now? Finally! That was the longest I've been without caffeine since 1993.
For the most important part, the dinosaurs. Our primary concern is their welfare, which means finding the cause of this sickness. My team have identified some animals, and they want to take a closer look.
Now, it was impossible to retrieve all dinosaurs, but they had some plans on what to do with those that were rescued. First, specimens from a few types would need to be flown in. The map grid actually showed lots of dinosaur activity around and further away from the base camp. For the moment, they would send out rangers to go and get some of the Gallimimus, a dinosaur that was small and easy to please in an enclosed environment. The Gallimimus preferred the open plains, where it could run together with its flock looking for food or water. Therefore, necessities like a thick jungle forest were not required, making it all the more easy to capture and research on what was causing the spread of disease around these parts. Its neighboring Strathiomimus got a bit scared though from all the ruckus that the choppers were raising. Gallimimus fell numb to the ground that were tranked, triggering some of the other dinosaurs to run away in fear. And so the Gallimimus that were tranked were moved over to the base camp with a newly created pen built specifically for them. It also just so happened that within arm's reach, a group of Sinoceratops was enjoying a nice refreshing drink at one of the smaller pools of water near the base. These were a given to be saved as well, as they could be tranked easily. There were some who vouched for the ground rangers to do this, but it was easier to just send out the helicopters again. Just like with the smaller runner dinosaurs, once the first of the Sinoceratops went down, the others panicked a little bit and started to run as well. But they were so massive that they could easily be shot with the darts. The vegetation surrounding the water was the only thing that was in the way. And so the first inhabitants enjoyed their new temporary home. Currently, there wasn't much vegetation in the form of trees, but these dinosaurs did not need it. They mostly were concerned with grazing and some fresh water to cool off from the scorching sun. And as in the background the smoke could be seen coming from the volcano, more of the earlier tranked Gallimimus were flown in to create a nice flock within the pen itself. The next dinosaur that was needed was the ever so feisty Stygimoloch. Not too far from that site, a bunch of Pachyes were also spotted, but the Stygimoloch was definitely the one with the easier agitated personality. But now, they seemed rather quaint and still, possibly the result of the disease that was spreading. Their instinct to run did kick in once more though when the helicopters came. Luckily they ran into the open, making it easier for the rangers to take them down, as the smaller size and jitteriness of these creatures could make that task a difficult one. The Stygimoloch were quite far from the base camp, and it would take some time before all of them had been moved to the new pen. Despite them being rather agitated, the Stygimoloch was also a dinosaur that did not require a whole lot of specifics in terms of its environment, As long as there were enough of their own kind, they were solid. Signals had already been given for the helicopters to deliver their payload, and the two species that had already been introduced to their pen seemed to really like their new home. It did indeed result, unsurprisingly, in that most of the animals would center and reside around the watering spot, since some of the rocks also provided shade. Part of the water could later on also be researched if anything could be found in connection to the disease. And then the stigmalog were finally added into the mix, and for now, these species would be the focus of the base camp and their scientists.
Great. Now that we have the dinosaurs, time to learn everything we can about this illness. Build an observation tower overlooking the enclosure so our scientists can carefully observe what they're doing.
Since this base camp was so small, much of the research was not on the same level as places elsewhere on the island. Since Claire knew that some shady things were happening in a few of these sites and locations, she wanted to keep this operation in-house. While the materials and crew for the viewing platform were assembled, one of the rangers got a nice glimpse of a friendly group of Stegosaurus that moved through the camp. They would definitely be safe in the near future as well, when they had bigger pens built. Shortly after, the first of the two viewing platforms were being built. With the pen having no trees, it was very easy for large groups of scientists to write down their findings on the current situation. More in-depth research would need to take place to delve into the cause and identity of this disease, but through this, they could study their behavior from an outer perspective.
Our scientists are in position and ready to observe the dinosaurs. Your job is to make sure the dinosaurs remain comfortable and contained.
And comfortable and calm they indeed were. Even with the third species being introduced, all the different dinosaurs seemed to be quite pleased. Because of the openness of the pen, all the dinosaurs had a good understanding of what was going on around them at all times, making them feel at ease. They would remain here a bit longer while the scientists would study the disease, and then they would be handed over to Konoha's men, who had a great new plan worked out for these dinosaurs that had been stressed out for the past few weeks due to the disease and Volcano. A dinosaur spa.